Why were the dragon aspects created?
Long ago, these Protodrakes are kind of ruling across this land, and there's this big major one that is kind of like the embodiment of gluttony. They describe him as a nightmare given form in the Dawn of the Aspects book. His name is Galakrond. He's basically this massive proto-dragon that has been so consumed by hunger, and it seems like he's also very much like corrupted by the whispers of the old gods, because he has these like creepy little limbs that hang off of him that are just like very eldritch in nature. He has all these eyeballs that are useless that pop out of all of these different places.
Doesn't he grow larger the more he eats, and he just eats everything?
He actually ends up consuming so much that he runs out of all the things to eat. And while it's even considered taboo, like amongst these semi-intelligent creatures, to resort to cannibalism, he's like, well, I'm not going to stop eating. So he ends up beginning to eat these proto-dragons as well. And so early on in the book, Tyr is in combat with him, and the creature ends up just completely biting the keeper's hand off and swallowing it, which I can only assume charges him up with even more power. And that's when, in this book, most of the Protodrakes, they can't speak, but some of them can. That's where we kind of meet our 5 aspects. We meet Alexstrasza, we meet Neltharion, we meet Nozdormu, Ysera, and Malygos. And eventually, the 5 more intelligent ones group up with a bunch of the other Protodrakes, and they're all like, we're just gonna like mad charge them. Even the dumb ones, we're gonna just mad charge them. And it ends up being like an absolute bloodbath. These dragons unite together, and they use their united intelligence to work with the keepers to kill Galakrond. And in the legacies, he seems to just kind of like fall over and die at some point, but in the Dawn of the Aspects books, they shove a massive rock into his throat, and then he chokes on it and dies. Regardless, the keepers see these intelligent proto-dragons as like an opportunity to better safeguard the rest of the world. So they decide to ascend them, and they make them into what they're kind of like their perfect form would be. And that's what we get the dragons that we know of from modern Warcraft. And they also gave them specific aspects of life that they were set to like safeguard over. So Alexstrasza would be made the Lifebinder. Neltharion would be made the Earth Warder. Nozdormu would become the Timeless One and watch over the time waves. Ysera would become the Dreamer, and then the blue one was Malygos, and he is the Guardian of Magic. And to symbolize their unity, they would have the keepers build them this massive spire called the Wyrmrest Temple, and it would be where they would come together to meet and talk about how they could commit to protecting Azeroth.